The Coin Lady channel is pleased to have you back. Dear everyone, famed American TV host Jim Cramer recently spoke with U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission Chairman Gary Gensler. Along with covering a lot of ground, they spoke about Ripple's continuing legal dispute with the regulator. When asked about the Securities and Exchange Commission, Cramer said they were already vanquished. The celebrity's comments went viral on SX and other social media platforms, sparking heated debates among XRP users. There is still no clear winner in the race between XRP and SEC. Some investors saw Cramer's position as a positive indication that Ripple would win out. Unfortunately, the fact that many people remembered his earlier incorrect prediction about crypto indicates that the inverse is possible. It was never too late to exit the Bitcoin ecosystem, according to Cramer, who advised people to sell their losing cryptocurrency bets in December 2022. While he was right about the market slump coming to an end, he also said that people should start investing more in crypto assets, which led to a 300% surge in Bitcoin's price. Those who have been keeping tabs on the industry for the past few years should know that 2022 was a bad year for the sector overall. What with all the major disasters that happened, like Terra and FTX going bankrupt. This prediction was made around the beginning of that year, or even before. It is important to remember that the ETF process was terminated and liquidated at the beginning of this year, even though many ex-users have stated that they will not adhere to the claims made by this product, since it was founded in 2023 and traded on the stock exchange. In December 2020, the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, charged Ripple and a few executives with fraudulently earning more than $1.03 billion through an unregistered securities offering by selling XRP. This occurred during the legal proceedings. The legal process officially started at this point. Ripple won 3 partial court victories in 2023, leading some to believe it is the underdog in the case that finally reached trial in April of 2024. The case went through several twists in the years that followed. The upward reaction of the XRP price following each victory raises the prospect that more volatility may resume following the final resolution of the lawsuit. Starting in December 2020 and reaching the trial stage in April 2024, the ongoing legal battle between the SEC and Ripple was covered by Jim Cramer during his conversation with Chairman Gary Gensler. Cramer's attitude is perceived by some as a positive sign for Ripple, despite his poor past predictions. At the start of this week, the famous American TV personality Jim Cramer spoke with Gary Gensler, the chairman of the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. Among the many topics discussed on the conversation was the continuing legal battle between Ripple and the regulator. An XRP community member named Cramer made a remark that quickly went viral online and caused a flurry of debate. The SEC had already lost the battle. What exactly does Cramer's perspective encompass? To some investors, Cramer's opinion meant that Ripple would win out in the end. On the flip side, his detractors said that the outcome would be surprising because of his track record of wrong cryptocurrency predictions. Cramer made a rallying cry in December 2022, telling people to sell their ill-advised cryptocurrency holdings. Coincident with this call, Bitcoin's value soared. What was the historical performance of these forecasts? Crypto assets saw a surge in interest around the start of 2022, when Cramer expected the market downturn would stop. However, 2023 was a disaster for the industry as a whole, with major bankruptcies like Terra and FTX firms, the launch of an exchange-traded fund, and the establishment of FE to wager against Cramer's suggestions. But it was shuttered and sold off that very year. Important things to keep in mind. Here are several key takeaways for everyone keeping up with the story of Ripple and the SEC. The ongoing legal struggle with Ripple was highlighted in Jim Cramer's most recent conversation with Gary Gensler, chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission. Despite Cramer's track record of inactive predictions, his perspective is seen by some as a reason to be optimistic about Ripple. In December 2020, the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, filed a complaint against Ripple and certain officials, claiming that they had raised over $1.03 billion through an unregistered securities offering. The legal proceedings, which started in December 2020, did not conclude until April 2024. Since then, a lot has changed with the sale of XRP. In April of 2024, the matter eventually to trial, and some people still think that Ripple's the position is fortified by the 3 partial victories it had in 2023, each of which had a positive effect on the price of XRP. This suggests that there could be volatility once the case is resolved. Despite the fact that the markets may consider the motion to seal as a minor ruling, the disclosure of current client arrangements and financial statements might affect future business and demand for XRP. The Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, made arguments before the court, and they argued that any submissions that could influence a court's decision regarding the penalty for violating securities laws ought to be made public. On the other hand, a recent court ruling might affect how the motion to seal is decided. A new court decision that goes against SEC is sending shockwaves through the company. The chief legal officer, Stuart Alderity, brought up the decision of the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals concerning private financing. Another thing I'd like to ask is how much money the government has lost because the Gensler Securities and Exchange Commission couldn't get its authority to go beyond what the law allows. On Wednesday, June 5th, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals reversed the regulations of the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, that mandated private fund advisors to provide investors with comprehensive disclosures. A possible major impact on the SEC's capacity to pursue transparency-related targets among Bitcoin companies may result from the ruling. After SEC Chair Gary Gensler spoke with CNBC, the court delivered its ruling. Regarding disclosure, Chair Gensler said the following: "The CC will be celebrating its 90th anniversary tomorrow. Hello, SEC. Today marks your 90th birthday. Aside from that, President Roosevelt set up this committee to make sure you, the investors, have all the knowledge you need. Even worse, you won't find that data on the Bitcoin marketplaces. Regardless, it is highly unlikely that the Fifth Circuit's decision will affect the SEC versus Ripple case by the end of the next few months. Ripple is expecting a court verdict, and in March, the chair of the Securities and Exchange Commission proposed a penalty of over $2 billion and an injunction banning the sale of XRP to institutional investors. In April, Ripple requested a penalty of $10 million, claiming that no claims of fraud or negligence were involved with the situation. Ripple has denied the SEC's claims that it has continued to breach a punitive disgorgement order, and the company could face an injunction if the court rules that its sales after the complaint broke U.S. securities laws. Please note that the data presented here is not meant to be trading advice. Well, that concludes our video. Support my channel with a like and a subscription. Muchas gracias, depart.